The alarm bells rang through the great halls of Nexus Prime. Red lights flashed on every wall. In the emergency meeting room of the Galactic Unity Council, alien voices rose in panic. "They're gone," shouted Ambassador Vexthal, his 6 arms waving. Wildly, every human on Kepler Station just left. "Same on my world," said Speaker Zilth. Her crystal body glowed bright orange with worry. "All human settlements empty, no bodies. No signs of fighting, just empty." More reports came in from across the galaxy. The Velkari delegate stood up, his blue skin turning pale. "My lords, we have news from 200 worlds, all human colonies abandoned. All human ships gone in just 3 days." Ambassador Jin sat quietly at the human table. He was a tall man with kind eyes and gray hair. Next to him, Deputy Na organized papers with calm hands. She did not look worried. She looked ready. The council speaker, a large creature with 4 eyes, slammed his staff on the floor. "What is the meaning of this? Ambassador Jin, explain." Jin stood up slowly. He straightened his blue jacket and looked around the room. Hundreds of alien faces stared at him. Some looked angry, some looked scared, all looked confused. "Honored members of the council," Jin said in his quiet voice. "Humanity thanks you for 50 years of cooperation. We have learned much. We hope we have given much. But now it is time for us to go." The room exploded with noise. Aliens shouted questions in dozens of languages. Some banged on their tables. Others made strange sounds that meant anger in their world. "You cannot leave," cried the Shafirian delegate. "We have treaties. We have trade deals. We have marriages between our species." Na stood up and placed a small device on the table. A hologram appeared in the air. It showed official papers with stamps and signatures. "All treaties have been ended, according to galactic law," Na said. Her voice was calm and businesslike. "All trade contracts have been cancelled with proper notice. All joint projects have been transferred to council control. Everything is legal, but why?" asked Ambassador Vexthal. His voice was quieter now. "We are friends, we work together. We build a better galaxy together." Jin smiled sadly. "Yes, we have been friends, and we hope we stay friends. But humanity must walk a different path now." "What path?" demanded the council speaker. "Where are you going? To fight us? To build weapons against us?" "No," Jin said simply. "We go in peace. We will not fight you. We will not bother you. We just go." Across the galaxy, the same scene played out on thousands of worlds. Human families packed their bags quickly but carefully. They took personal things, photos, children's toys, grandmother's cooking pot, but they left behind the big things. The farms they had built, the schools they had started, the hospitals where they had saved alien lives on Terra Nova. Captain Han walked through his military base one last time. His soldiers had already left. The base was clean and ready for the next owners. All weapons were secured. All files were deleted. Nothing dangerous was left behind. "Sir," said his aide, a young woman named Lee. "The council ships are asking to speak with you." Han shook his head. "Tell them we have nothing more to say. Our orders are complete." Dr. Yoon finished her last day at the Central Medical Research Station. She had trained alien doctors for 10 years. Now she uploaded all her research to the council computers. Free knowledge for everyone to use. "Doctor," said her Valkyrie assistant, "please don't go. We need you. The plague on Sector 7, only you know how to stop it." Dr. Yoon put her hand on the alien's shoulder. "I have given you all my notes, all my methods. You are smart, you can learn. But what if we make mistakes? Then you will learn from them." Dr. Yoon said, "That is how we all grow." On the farming world of New Kansas, engineer Wu shut down the great machines that turned desert into green fields. The alien farmers watched with worry. "These machines are too hard for us to fix," they said. "What happens when they break?" Wu handed them thick books full of pictures and simple words. "Here are the manuals. I have made them easy to read. You can do this." Back on Nexus Prime, the council meeting was getting louder. Aliens demanded answers. They made threats. They offered gifts. Nothing worked. You are making a mistake, shouted the crystalline delegate. Humans need the galaxy. You need our crystals for your computers. You need our food. You need our protection. Jin listened to it all with patient eyes. When the room finally got quiet, he spoke. For 50 years, humanity has been part of this council. We have shared our knowledge. We have helped solve problems. We have kept peace between worlds that wanted to fight. We have built bridges between species that did not trust each other. He paused and looked around the room. But we have noticed something. Every time there is a problem, you call for humans. Every time something breaks, you ask humans to fix it. Every time there is a fight, you ask humans to stop it. Yes, said the council speaker. Because you are good at these things. Too good? Na said quietly. You have stopped trying to do these things yourself. The room went silent. Aliens looked at each other with uncomfortable faces. Jin picked up his bag. We do not leave in anger. We leave because we care. A parent must let their child walk alone, or the child will never learn to be strong. You think we are children? Asked Ambassador Vexthal. No, Jin said. We think you are great species who can do amazing things. But you will never know how. Amazing until you try without us. The human delegation walked toward the door. Their footsteps echoed in the quiet room. This is temporary, called the council speaker. You will be back when you realize you need us too? Jin stopped at the door. He turned around one last time. Perhaps, he said. But first you must learn that you don't need us. The doors closed. Behind them with a soft sound. In the great meeting room, hundreds of aliens sat in shocked silence. Humanity had left the building. And somehow the galaxy already felt different. 2 months had passed since the humans left. At first the galaxy felt normal. Ships still flew between stars. Markets still sold goods. People still went to work, but slowly, like cracks in a wall, problems began to show on the trading station. Meridian Hub, Captain Ziegdal looked at his empty cargo bay. For 20 years he had carried goods along the Meridian trade route. Human merchants had always been there to help. They knew which species needed what. They knew how to talk to everyone. They made deals between aliens who did not trust each other. Now those humans were gone. No cargo today, Captain, said Station Master Vorth. The Velkari will not trade with the Japhirians. The crystal beings say the metal people cheat them. Everyone wants to deal only with their own kind. Ziegdal's ship was not the only one sitting empty. All around the station, cargo vessels waited with nothing to carry. The great trade route that connected 50 worlds was dying. What about human traders? Asked Ziegdal. Surely some stayed. Vorth shook his foreheads. Gone, all gone. The ones who talked to my people and yours and made everyone agree. Without them, nobody trusts anybody. Far away on the medical station orbiting Vega Prime, Dr. Thexil struggled with a dying patient. The Japhirian had a disease that used to be easy to cure. Dr. So had taught the treatment to hundreds of alien doctors, but now Dr. So was gone. Nurse, called Dr. Thexil, bring me the human medical files. Already tried, doctor, said the nurse. The files say use method 7B, but when I tried it last week, the patient got worse. I don't understand the human way of thinking. Dr. Thexil looked at the notes Dr. So had left behind. The words were there. The steps were clear. But something was missing. Humans had a way of looking at each patient as different. They changed the treatment based on small things that the files did not explain. The human doctors made it look easy, said the nurse sadly. They would look at a patient and just know what to do. Another patient died that day, and another the next day. Diseases that had been simple to treat were becoming deadly again. On the farming world of Green Valley, Farmer Kelmer watched his crops turn brown. The seeds came from Engineer Min's special plants. They were supposed to grow in any soil, on any world. For 5 years they had grown perfectly, but now something was wrong. The plants are dying, Kelmer told his neighbor. I followed all the instructions Min gave us. I water them the right amount, I give them the right food, but they just ... His neighbor pointed to his own fields. They were brown too. Same here, and on every farm in this sector. The problem was that Min's plants needed more than just water and food. They needed someone who understood how plants think, how they adapt to new worlds. Humans had a gift for this. They could feel what plants needed, even when the plants could not say it. The files Min left behind had all the science. But they did not have the intuition. In the Great Council chambers on Nexus Prime, Speaker Thexler called for another emergency meeting. The same aliens who had watched the humans leave now faced a growing list of problems. Trade is down 60%, reported the Commerce Minister. The Meridian Route is almost empty. Species are starting to fight over resources instead of trading for them. Medical stations report increasing death rates, added the Health Minister. Diseases we conquered years ago are coming back. And food production is failing on 40 worlds, said the Agriculture Minister. The human farming methods are not working without humans to guide them. Ambassador Vextel stood up with his 6 arms crossed. This is just temporary, he said. We are smart beings. We can learn to do what humans did. Are we? Asked the crystalline delegate. Humans made everything look so easy. They solved problems we did not even know existed. The council speaker banged his staff. We must try harder. Send our best scientists to study the human methods? But the best scientists were already trying. On research stations across the galaxy, alien experts worked day and night to understand human techniques. They had all the books, they had all the videos, they had all the data. What they did not have was the human way of thinking. Dr. Vorthel, the galaxy's best Valkyrie scientist, stared at Dr. Yoon's research notes. The words made sense. The numbers were correct. But when he tried to copy her work, his experiments failed. There is something missing, he told his assistant. Humans think differently than us. They see patterns we cannot see. They make connections. We do not understand. His assistant nodded sadly. Dr. Yoon used to say that science was not just about following rules. She said it was about feeling your way to the truth. How do you feel your way to truth? Asked Dr. Vorthel. Truth is facts and numbers. Maybe that is why we are failing, said the assistant quietly. Across the galaxy, the same conversation happened in hundreds of languages. Alien experts tried to copy human work and failed. They had the knowledge, but not the wisdom. They had the tools, but not the skill. The humans had not just shared their discoveries. They had shared their way of thinking. And when they left, they took that gift with them. On a small outpost near the edge of council space, the last human diplomat received another message asking for help. Director Park read the desperate words from the Sheferian government. Their plague was spreading. Their people were dying. Park typed a simple reply. We are sorry for your troubles. We hope you find a solution. Then he deleted the message and prepared to leave. His orders were clear. Humanity was walking away. No matter how much the galaxy begged them to return, the cracks were spreading. And they were getting deeper every day. 6 months after humanity left, the real problems began. Chief Engineer Zalkin stood in the control room of Nexus Prime's main power station. Red warning lights flashed all around him. The massive quantum generators that powered the capital world were making strange noises. When did this start? He asked his team. 3 days ago, replied his assistant. The human maintenance crew used to check these systems every week. We tried to follow their schedule, but but what? But what? We don't understand how they knew what to look for. Zalkin looked at the maintenance logs left by Engineer Tay. The human had written detailed notes about every repair. But the notes talked about things like feeling vibrations and listening to the machine's mood. What did that mean? Try running Diagnostic Program 7, Zalkin ordered. Already tried. The computer says everything is normal. But the machines kept making noise. And the power output was dropping every day. Across the galaxy, the same scene played out on thousands of stations. Human engineers had built or improved most of the galaxy's technology. When they left, they took with them something more valuable than tools or computers. They took understanding on the communications hub of Sector 12. The quantum message network began to fail. Messages between worlds started arriving late or not at all. Sometimes they arrived mixed up or broken. The network is degrading, reported technician Veltar to her supervisor. We are losing connection with 47 worlds. What does the human technical manual say? Veltar held up a thick book. It says to adjust the quantum phase according to local spacetime distortion, but it does not say how to measure spacetime distortion. Did the humans measure it? Yes, but they used instinct. Engineer Da used to walk around the machines and somehow know what needed fixing. She said she could feel when the quantum field was wrong. How do you feel a quantum field? The manual did not explain that the Great Library of Andromeda faced the worst crisis. Dr. Ree had designed the security system to protect billions of files from across the galaxy. But when she left, she took the access codes with her. Librarian Corthel tried everything to unlock the files. He used every password he could think of. He brought in the best computer experts from 12 worlds. Nothing worked. The system is too smart, he told the council. Dr. Ree built it to recognize human thought patterns. It knows we are not human, so it will not let us in. What about the emergency override? There is one, but it requires 3 human administrators to activate it. Together we have 0 humans. Billions of research papers, star maps, cultural records, and technical manuals sat locked behind doors that only human minds could open. The galaxy's memory was sealed away. On the outer colonies, the terraforming systems began to fail. These machines turned dead worlds into places where life could grow. They changed the air, the water, the soil. Engineer Wu had designed most of them. Colony Governor Hextall watched his world's atmosphere readings with growing fear. Oxygen levels were dropping. The temperature was rising. The protective magnetic field was weakening. What went wrong? He asked his science team. Nothing went wrong, said the lead scientist. Everything is working exactly as programmed. Then why is our world becoming unlivable? Because the program was designed for Earth-like conditions. Our world is different. Engineer Wu used to adjust the settings by hand, based on how each world behaved. She never wrote down how she made those decisions. The scientist showed him Wu's notes. They were full of phrases like, trust the planet to tell you what it needs, and every world has its own personality. How do we trust the planet? Asked Governor Hextall. We don't know. 4 colonies lost their breathable atmosphere that month. The people had to evacuate to ships and wait for rescue. But where could they go? Every terraformed world was starting to fail on the research station Deep Science. Alien scientists struggled with projects that humans had started. Dr. Chun's cancer research had been close to a breakthrough. His notes showed promising results. But when alien researchers tried to continue his work, their experiments kept failing. We are following his methods exactly, said Dr. Morthick. Same chemicals, same procedures, same equipment, but not the same insights, said his colleague. Look at this note. The cells seemed unhappy, so I changed the temperature. Unhappy? How can cells be unhappy? And here, added Nutrient X because it felt right. Felt right? Science is not about feelings. But somehow, Dr. Chun's feelings had led to cures that saved millions of lives. Without those feelings, the research went nowhere. The cascade was spreading. Each failed system caused other systems to fail. The quantum networks needed constant adjustment, but without human intuition, they slowly broke down. The terraforming systems needed human creativity to adapt to new challenges. The medical equipment needed human empathy to truly heal. Most alien species were logical. They followed rules and procedures. They believed in facts and data. These were good things. But humans had something else. They combined logic with intuition, facts with feelings, rules with creativity. Council Speaker Thexler called his advisors to an emergency meeting. How bad is the situation? He asked. Bad and getting worse, said his chief science advisor. We estimate that 70% of our critical systems depend on human insight to function properly. Without humans to maintain them, They will all fail within 2 years. What about training our people to think like humans? We tried. We sent our best minds to study human methods. But human thinking is not just technique. It is a whole different way of seeing the universe. You cannot learn it from books? The speaker slammed his staff down. There must be something we can do. There is, said his military advisor quietly. We can find the humans and bring them back. By force, if necessary? For the first time since humanity left, the council began to consider war. Not against an enemy, but against their former friends. They needed the humans back. And they were becoming desperate enough to take them, but first they had to find them. And that was proving harder than anyone had imagined. Admiral Ziegler commanded the largest fleet in council history. 200 ships from 15 different species, all searching for the same thing, humans. Any signs of human activity in this sector? He asked his scanner operator. Nothing, Admiral. We have checked 47 systems. Found plenty of human-built stations and colonies, but no humans. The fleet had been searching for 4 months. They followed every lead, every rumor, every possibility. Always the same result. Empty buildings and silent machines. The first discovery had given them hope. A human research station near the Vega system was still operational. The lights were on. The computers were running. The air was fresh, but no people. Commander Velkris led the boarding team through the empty halls. Their footsteps echoed strangely in the quiet station. In the main lab, coffee cups sat half-empty on desks. In the cafeteria, a meal was still waiting in the warming unit. In the recreation room, a book lay open on a chair. It's like they just vanished, said one of the soldiers. Velkris checked the security recordings. They showed the normal daily routine. Humans working, eating, talking. Then, on day 1247, they all gathered in the main meeting room. Dr. Sue gave a short speech. Everyone nodded and smiled. Then they all walked to the transport bay. Where did they go? Asked Velkris. The recording showed the humans entering empty space. No ships, no teleporters. They just walked out of the camera's view and never came back. This makes no sense, said the technical officer. Humans cannot survive in space without protection. They cannot just disappear. But they had disappeared completely. The fleet found dozens of similar sites. Human colonies with all the signs of normal life, but no humans. Some places looked like the people had left in the middle of dinner. Others looked like they had planned to leave, but forgot to take their belongings. On the mining world Kappa 7, the search team found something strange. The human miners had been working on a deep excavation. Their tools were still running. Their computers showed they had found something important just days before the evacuation. What were they mining? Asked Admiral Ziegler. Unknown mineral, replied the science officer. Very rare. They were excited about it, according to their logs. Then suddenly they all left. Did they take the mineral with them? No, sir. It's still here, but sir, there's something else. The science officer showed him a final entry in the mining logs. It was written by Supervisor Kim. We found what we were looking for. Time to go home. Real home. What does that mean? Asked the Admiral. Unknown, sir. The most puzzling discovery came on the trading station New Harmony. This was a joint human-alien facility where 5 species worked together. The alien workers were still there, but confused and worried. The humans just said goodbye one day, explained Station Manager Vorthan. They finished their shifts normally. They helped us with the weekly reports. Then Human Supervisor Juan called us all together and said they were leaving. Did they say why? Juan said they had received new orders. All humans were to report to evacuation points. He thanked us for our friendship and wished us well. Evacuation points? Where? He would not say, but sir seemed happy. Not scared or worried. Happy, like they were going somewhere wonderful. The search teams interviewed thousands of aliens who had worked with humans. All told similar stories. The humans had left willingly, even joyfully. No one had forced them. No enemy had captured them. They had simply chosen to go, but go where? Dr. Axtell, the Council's best analyst, studied all the evidence. He had data from 800 human sites across 300 systems. Every piece of information led to the same impossible conclusion. The humans coordinated this, he told Admiral Ziegler. Every group left at almost the same time, despite being separated by thousands of light years. This required planning and communication on a massive scale. How did they communicate without us knowing? Unknown. Our sensors monitor all communications in Council space. We detected no unusual human transmissions before the evacuation. Secret codes? Possibly. But sir, there's something else. The evacuation was too perfect. 7 million humans across 800 locations, all leaving in exactly the right order to avoid detection until it was too late. This level of coordination suggests suggests what? That they have been planning this for years, maybe decades? The Admiral felt a chill. You think they were always planning to leave us? The evidence suggests they were preparing for this moment since they first joined the Council. Meanwhile, the few humans still accessible to the Council refused to help. On Neutral Station Omega, the last human diplomatic post, Ambassador Lee received daily visits from desperate Council representatives. Please, begged Valkyrie Ambassador Thexul, just tell us where they went. Our worlds are dying without human help. Ambassador Lee looked tired but determined. I cannot help you, cannot or will not. Both, I do not know where humanity has gone, and even if I did, I would not tell you. Why? We were friends. We still are friends, Lee said gently. That is why I cannot help you find us. That makes no sense. Lee sighed. A parent does not help a child find them when the child needs to learn independence. We care about you too much to make you dependent on us forever. We are not children. Then, prove it. Solve your problems without us? But the Council was becoming desperate. Food shortages affected 50 worlds. Medical crises spread across dozens of systems. Infrastructure failures left billions without power or communication. Some Council members suggested more extreme measures. Use the Truth Seekers, suggested War Minister Colthruck. We capture this Ambassador Lee and force her to tell us what she knows. Absolutely not, said Speaker Thexler. We do not torture our friends, even if they are killing us by staying silent. Even then, but not everyone agreed. On the outer worlds, local governments began taking matters into their own hands. They sent secret missions to capture any humans they could find. All the missions failed. The few humans still in Council space seemed to know they were coming. They disappeared just before the capture teams arrived. It was as if humanity had become ghosts, always one step ahead of their former allies. Dr. Jung was the last known human scientist still working in Council space. He ran a small research station studying stellar formation. When the Council fleet arrived to request his help, they found only a note. Thank you for 40 years of friendship. My research is complete. The data is in the computers. I hope it helps you understand the universe better. I hope someday you understand why we had to go. Dr. Jun, the station was empty. But unlike the other sites, this one had signs of a struggle. Equipment was damaged. There were burn marks on the walls. What happened here? Asked the boarding team leader. Security footage showed the answer. A group of Shafirian pirates had tried to capture Dr. Jun, but when they broke into his lab, he was already gone. They had arrived just minutes too late. Even criminals could not catch the vanishing humans. Admiral Ziegler stared at the star charts in his command room. His fleet had searched a quarter of the galaxy. They had found the evidence of humanity's presence everywhere, but humanity itself remained invisible. Sir, said his communications officer. Message from the Council. They are ordering the fleet home. Home? We have not found them yet. Sir, the message says that 3 more systems have suffered complete infrastructure failure. They need our ships to help with evacuations. The Admiral looked at his charts one more time. Somewhere out there, 7 million humans had hidden themselves so well that the combined effort of 15 species could not find them. Set course for Nexus Prime? he ordered sadly. As the great fleet turned toward home, humanity remained hidden. The galaxy's greatest mystery had become its greatest failure, and the search would continue, even as the worlds they were trying to save fell apart around them. 18 months had passed since humanity disappeared. The galaxy was falling apart. Finance Minister Kelter stood before the council with the worst news in galactic history. The massive display screen behind him showed red numbers everywhere. Economic collapse was complete. The galactic currency has lost 90% of its value, he announced. Trade between member worlds has dropped to levels not seen since before the council existed. Speaker Wexler gripped his staff tightly. How is this possible? The economy was stable for decades. Yes, sir. Because humans designed the stability algorithms. They created systems that prevented inflation and balanced trade between different species. Without humans to maintain these systems, the economy has returned to chaos. The display showed trade routes that once connected thousands of worlds. Most were now marked in red, route closed. The few remaining green lines showed minimal traffic. The Valkyrie refused to accept Shafirian goods, continued Minister Kelter. The crystal beings claim the metal people cheat in every deal. Without human mediators to build trust between species, old suspicions have returned. In the back of the chamber, Ambassador Wexel spoke up. This is temporary. We can learn to trust each other again. Can we? Asked the crystalline delegate. Your people cheated mine in the mining rights deal last month. We did not cheat. Your people misunderstood the contract. See, said Minister Kelter sadly. This happens in every negotiation now. Humans used to help everyone understand each other. Without them, every deal becomes an argument. But the economic crisis was not the worst problem. General Naka, the military commander, brought even darker news. The Valkyrie-Jafirian conflict has escalated to full war, she reported. 7 systems are now under attack. Billions of civilians need evacuation. How did border guards become a war? Demanded the speaker. The same way all our conflicts start now. Misunderstanding that became suspicion, that became fear, that became violence. Human General Na used to handle border disputes before they became serious. She would talk to both sides, find solutions everyone could accept. General Naka brought up a tactical display. Red zones showed active fighting. Yellow zones showed areas about to explode into conflict. Without human strategic planning, we cannot coordinate a proper military response. Our forces from different species cannot work together effectively. Humans were the ones who taught us joint operations. What about our defense treaties? Breaking down, each species trusts only its own military now. The unified command structure is collapsing. Worse news kept coming. Science Minister Verthal reported that research across the galaxy had stopped advancing. All major research projects have failed or been abandoned, he said. The cancer cure Dr. Jun was developing? His alien assistants cannot make it work. The new terraforming techniques engineer Wu designed? Every test has resulted in ecological disaster. Our people are smart, protested a Valkyrie representative. We can learn human methods. We tried, said Minister Verthal. We sent our best minds to study human research techniques. But human science was not just about following procedures. It was about creative thinking, about seeing connections that others missed. He showed them examples. Human researchers would combine medicine with agriculture to solve food poisoning. They would use military tactics to fight diseases. They would apply art techniques to engineering problems. We cannot think this way. The terraforming crisis was the most urgent. Governor Hextall of New Eden Colony appeared on the communication screen, his face desperate. Speaker Wexler, we need immediate evacuation. Our atmospheric systems are failing. We have maybe 2 weeks before the air becomes unbreathable. What happened? The terraforming machines are working exactly as programmed. But the program was designed for a different type of world. Engineer Wu used to adjust the settings by hand based on how each planet behaved. We tried to copy her adjustments on other worlds, but the screen filled with images of ecological disasters. Purple lakes that should have been blue. Orange sky that should have been clear. Dead forests where green farms should have grown. We followed her procedures exactly, Governor Hextall continued. But every world is different. She understood this. We do not. 13 colonies had already been evacuated. 20 more were failing. Without human expertise, the galaxy's expansion into new worlds had not just stopped, it was reversing. The council session was interrupted by emergency alerts. The quantum communication network, already weakened, was suffering cascading failures. We are losing contact with outer systems, reported the communications chief. The network maintenance requires human intuition to stay stable. Our technicians can fix individual problems, but they cannot predict where problems will happen next. What does that mean? Asked Speaker Wexler. It means the galaxy is becoming disconnected. Soon, each system will be alone. In the Great Archives, beneath the council building, Librarian Corthell made a final attempt to access the locked human files. He brought together the greatest computer experts from 12 species. They tried every trick they knew. The security system remained locked. Dr. Reed designed this to recognize human thought patterns, he explained to the experts. It can tell we are not human, so it will not open. What about forcing it open? We tried. The system will delete everything if we try to break in. All of galactic knowledge will be lost forever. Billions of research papers, technical manuals, and cultural records remain sealed. The galaxy's memory was locked away, and only humans had the key. As the crisis deepened, desperation led to dangerous decisions. Some council members wanted to declare martial law. Others suggested capturing any remaining humans by force. A few even talked about abandoning the outer colonies to save the core worlds. We are discussing becoming the very thing we never wanted to be, said Ambassador Wexler sadly. Divided, suspicious, violent, everything the council was created to prevent. What choice do we have? Demanded War Minister Colthrook. Our civilization is collapsing. Because we never learned to maintain it ourselves, said the crystalline delegate quietly. The humans tried to teach us, but we were content to let them do the hard work. The truth was becoming clear to everyone. For 50 years, humanity had been more than members of the council. They had been its foundation. Not because they demanded this role, but because they naturally filled the gaps that other species could not. When trade disputes arose, humans mediated. When technology failed, humans fixed it. When species mistrusted each other, humans built bridges. When problems seemed impossible, humans found creative solutions. The council had never realized how much they depended on human abilities until those abilities were gone. Speaker Wexler stood before the dying council one last time. Empty seats surrounded him. Many species had already withdrawn to focus on their own survival. The great chamber that once buzzed with voices from across the galaxy now echoed with emptiness. Fellow beings, he said to the few delegates remaining, we must face the truth. The Galactic Unity Council is ending. No one protested. They all knew it was true. We built something beautiful together, the speaker continued. But we built it on a foundation we did not understand. When humanity left, they took more than just their people. They took the invisible skills that held us together. Ambassador Wexler raised one of his 6 arms. What do we do now? We learn, said the speaker sadly. We go back to our homeworlds and try to remember how to survive on our own. Maybe someday we will be strong enough to deserve humanity's friendship again, and if they never come back? The speaker looked around the empty chamber one last time. Then we will know that we were never as wise as we thought we were. The great lights of the council chamber went dark. The Galactic Unity Council had lasted 847 years. It had brought peace to thousands of worlds and prosperity to billions of beings, but it could not survive the simple absence of hope. And hope, it seemed, had walked away quietly with the humans. 5 years had passed since humanity walked away. Former Speaker Wexler stood alone in the abandoned council chambers on Nexus Prime. Dust covered the great circular table where representatives from 47 species once sat together. The massive viewing screen that had shown star maps of the United Galaxy now displayed only static. The Galactic Unity Council was officially dead. Vexler walked slowly through the empty halls. His footsteps echoed in chambers that once buzzed, with the voices of thousands of beings working together. Now, silence ruled the great building. In the archives, he found what he was looking for. A small data crystal hidden in Ambassador Jin's old desk. He had discovered it by accident while salvaging the last useful equipment. The crystal was labeled simply, "Final Message." Vexler inserted the crystal into a portable reader. Jin's face appeared on the small screen, calm and kind as always. "If you are watching this," Jin's recorded voice said, "then the council has likely ended. We are sorry it came to this, but perhaps it was necessary." Vexler leaned forward, hungry for answers he had waited 5 years to find. "We did not leave in anger," Jin continued. "We left because we realized something troubling. For 50 years, humanity served as the galaxy's problem solvers. When trade disputes arose, you called for humans. When technology failed, you called for humans. When species could not trust each other, you called for humans to build bridges." The image of Jin looked directly at the camera, as if speaking to Vexler personally. "We became your universal solution. But in doing so, we prevented you from becoming your own solutions. Every time we fixed a problem for you, we took away your chance to grow stronger." Vexler remembered the early days of the council. Species had been suspicious of each other, yes. Trade had been difficult. Technology had advanced slowly. But they had been advancing, they had been learning. A parent who does everything for their child creates a child who cannot do anything for themselves, Jin said. "We realized we had become the galaxy's parents, and that was hurting you more than helping you." The recording showed Jin looking sad but determined, so we made a difficult choice. We chose to leave not because we stopped caring, but because we cared too much to watch you become permanently dependent on us. Across the galaxy, the consequences of that choice were everywhere. The Valkyrie had retreated to their home system. Without human mediators to help them trade with other species, they had decided to focus on their own development. Their technology had regressed to pre-council levels, but they were learning to solve problems themselves. The Shafirians had ended their war with the Valkyrie not through peace treaties, but through exhaustion. Without human strategic advice, the war had become too costly for both sides. Now they stayed in their own territory, working on rebuilding what they had destroyed. The crystal beings had sealed their borders entirely. They communicated with no one. Their beautiful crystal cities dimmed as they struggled to maintain technology they had never fully understood. On thousands of worlds, similar stories played out. Species that had grown used to human help now faced problems alone. Many failed. Colonies were abandoned. Trade routes collapsed. Research projects were canceled, but some succeeded. On the farming world of Green Valley, Farmer Kelmer finally learned to grow crops without human guidance. It took 3 failed harvests and near starvation, but he discovered something important. Each world's soil was different. Each planet's weather was unique. He could not follow human instructions exactly. He had to adapt them. When his first successful harvest came in, the food tasted better than anything the human methods had produced. Because he had learned to work with his world instead of forcing it to work like Earth. Dr. Vexil, the Valkyrie physician, made a breakthrough in treating the plague that had killed thousands. He could not copy Dr. So's methods exactly, but he understood Valkyrie biology better than any human ever could. His cure worked better for his people than human medicine ever had. Engineer Zalkin learned to listen to machines the way Engineer Tay had taught. Not with human intuition, but with Valkyrie sensitivity to electromagnetic fields. He could feel problems in the power grid before they happened, just like humans could. But in his own way, progress was slow, painful. Many died who could have been saved if humans were still there to help. But gradually, species began to rediscover their own strengths. Jin's message continued. "We hope someday you will forgive us for leaving. We hope someday you will understand that we left because we believed in you." Every species in the galaxy has unique gifts. But as long as we were there to solve your problems, you never had to discover what those gifts were. Wexler thought about the past 5 years. The council had collapsed, yes. Billions had suffered, yes. But something else had happened too. Species were becoming independent. They were solving problems in new ways. They were discovering abilities they never knew they had. The greatest gift we can give you, Jin said, is the chance to become everything. You can be without us. We believe you are capable of amazing things. But you will never know how amazing until you try on your own. The message showed Jin smiling sadly. Perhaps someday, when you have found your own strength, we can be friends again. Not as problem solvers and problem havers, but as equals who each bring something unique to the galaxy. The recording ended. Wexler sat in the empty chamber for a long time, thinking humanity had won the ultimate victory. Not through conquest or domination, but through faith. They had believed so strongly in other species' potential that they were willing to sacrifice their own place in the galaxy to help that potential grow. But had it worked? Wexler looked out the window at Nexus Prime's skyline. The great city was smaller now, darker, less magnificent than in the Council's glory days, but it was still alive. The remaining citizens were learning to maintain it themselves. The galaxy was definitely dimmer without humanity. Technology was simpler. Cooperation was harder. Progress was slower, but it was their progress now. Their solutions. Their strength. Maybe that was worth something. Wexler gathered his belongings and prepared to leave Nexus Prime forever. His own people needed him. They were struggling to build a new government, to solve problems they had never faced alone. It would be difficult. They would make mistakes. They would fail sometimes, but they would learn. And maybe, if they learned enough, if they grew strong enough, humanity might someday return to find a galaxy worthy of their friendship. The stars still shone in the empty sky above Nexus Prime. They seemed to be waiting for something or someone. Thank you, Wexler whispered to the darkness, for believing in us even when we did not believe in ourselves. Then he walked away from the dead council chambers, carrying humanity's gift of faith toward an uncertain but hopeful future. Behind him, the great building went dark. That somewhere in the galaxy the first lights of true independence were beginning to shine?